advantage. The lady is, oh yeah, okay. Can you hear me here at all, or let me know if you can hear me now? Okay, that's great. It's looks as if it started. I'll just turn this one off and then I'll get into the other one. It tells me audio is not connected, which sounds like shit. Thanks. No lady is good. Okay, sorry about that. Just some family stuff, some computer stuff, and some leftover stuff, and also the market. Okay, we're at the end of the cycle of the bear at the moment. The cycle of the bear was extraordinary, as you probably have felt. Um, does this mean that we're going to turn around on a dime and bounce back up? I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. But I like to hope that it would. But I don't. I've gone through a lot of the work of monthly charts last night, looking at the tops and bottoms, and there's still a way to go in some of the bigger indexes. Now, economically, please ignore if I ramble into doing bear pause warnings and long-term, all that sort of stuff, long-term bullhorns. Ignore it, because the stuff that I use, typically the computers have broken that I used for my scans, so I can't say that. Basically, don't pay attention to it, or at least slap me. We've seen 25%, i.e., 50 countries of the world. I think there's 200 roughly countries. Start negotiating with the US to either have matching tariffs, I think, or no tariffs. So Trump is getting what he wants. But he says what he wanted to do was to do what McKinley did and basically get 100% of the revenue for the US government in tariffs costs, tariff levies, which was the case back in 1896. But they've started to negotiate. All these countries, Vietnam, blah, 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 they're going to have no tariffs between the US and Vietnam if what the Vietnamese want comes true. And the Vietnamese have actually been putting big tariffs on the US. So Trump's getting what he wants. He says he wants some sort of equality in and equality and equity, to use a terrible word, in the economy. So just remember, this is welcome to the ASX Speed webinar for Monday, April 7th, 2025. We have no short-term bear pause warnings, but we have the disclaimer and warning. And generally, this is general advice of Corporate Authorised Representative AR 289519 of Alpha Security, AFSL 330757, Level 14, 5 Martin Place, Sydney, New South Wales 2000. This is general advice, does not constitute financial product advice, doesn't take into account your investment objectives, financial situation or particular needs. Prior to seeking advice, you should look at the FSG and the PDSs of anyone who's prepared to provide you with them, or anybody you're dealing with them. I can't give you all of the things that I will get you, but let's have a look at the Australian Share Price Index future. And we can see that 2022 tops are what we should be looking for in the US market, particularly the Dow and sometimes the NASDAQ. The Share Price Index futures has cut through that and is looking for 71.69 to 72.78. Now this is big, the big movement and smashing that we've seen. And as I said at the start, remember when I forecast that from about mid-March to the first week of April, we could have a bear phase. I didn't think it would be a big smashing. Now let's have a look at some of the previous ones. 2020, it took 2 months to just to smash down by about 40%. Big smashing here from 2007. It took the better part of, let's call, 14 or 15 months. That's the share price index futures, which has only, it had a brother, at least a sibling, which was the SPY itself, which is based on the all like GFC stuff, the way that it's going in terms of pattern. So at the moment, we might be getting near the end, and we might be having the best puking that you've seen and the most fear and loathing. And when you look at your shareholdings and you look at your bank account, you go, God, I've got that. I've got some money in a bank because it's worth more in shares than it used to be. But it's a time of emotion and really, shit, what is going to happen next? New line. Let's look at the All Ordinaries Index, new line, XAO.ASX. Most things that are normal won't work. So the All Ordinaries, the high in 2022 was 79.56. The All Ordinaries yesterday closed at 78.47.6. Bob Albo's winning votes with his TV ads. I can't see it myself unless people have been really destroyed mentally. New line. All Ordinaries Index, we do see kind of a five-wave structure to the downside. It's not the best five-wave structure, but if it bottomed, and notice over here we got a little hanging thing back from 2024. That's 78.38. Okay, so I'm just looking up where the market's supposed to be opening up. And it's basically, Charles says NASDAQ and SPY brought the August low on Friday. Remember the 5th of August that I talk about in 2007? Remember that time where I said that's bottomed and then it goes up and it goes up. It took a lot longer before it had the big collapse, but is this over? The answer is you'd hope there would be a bounce. At least I'd hope there was be a bounce. One thing that I am going to point out to you is really, really important and bizarre. Gold's fallen real hard, hasn't it? Gold's really fallen. This is the price of silver. It's fallen out of bed against the US dollar very hard. This is the price of silver against the Aussie dollar. It's fallen out of bed quite substantially. Now let's look at gold versus the Aussie dollar. And even Bitcoin. Notice this. This is the daily chart. Gold fell dramatically, and yet against the Aussie, it's still walking its way not badly. It's an inside day so far, but it's still around about the $5,000 area. It's 4,992 Aussie dollars. Gold's still worth a fair bit in Aussie. The other thing that I want to show you is Bitcoin. So if you've got Bitcoin, if you've got cash, if you've got gold, you can see here Bitcoin versus the Aussie US dollar has fallen out of bed and it's trying to break the old double bottom from a couple of weeks ago, nearly a month ago. BTC AUD is still stronger than US dollars, and the Aussie dollar having fallen is quite dramatic, if you like. So gold stocks probably should be okay today. Why that is because they're still producing gold in Aussie, with Aussie dollar costs, and that would give us a good income there. So Aussie gold stocks are probably still pretty useful. Let's go back into the financials index, new line, XFJ.ASX. My strategy today is just watch, wait and see, new line. The financials index, this has been doing a corrective rally. Look for 78.38 on the top side. At the moment, I have some buy orders that are sitting there, and I have to cancel basically. So my advice is to get rid of as many things as you can do, and just not get caught with stuff that might be 10 or 15% higher. Now, I'd really like to buy some of these banks because they're mainly bank orders that I've got. But I'll probably regret it, but I do think that we shouldn't be buying things that are just going to be killed in the morning. So just removing all. I don't know if you've already done that, but there could be some good bargains. I don't know what your strategy is, Cindy. I just prefer to not suddenly wake up and go, oh, shit, I didn't mean to buy that. Well, may these be absolute bargains. So now I've just got sell orders. 78.38 down there on the financials index is probably where we want to see that. I do think interest rates will be lowered given this situation at the moment. Okay. Financials index has a bank in it, and it's called ANZ. New line, ANZ.ASX. The weekly charts are down, monthlies are still down, if I remember correctly. Let's just see that. Gets ugly below $27.96. Look for $25.37. New line. CBA.ASX, new line. Down around $124 to $110 will be kind of the right area to think about maybe getting into CBA on a monthly charts, new line. Daily charts column. I mean, a deep dive would be $139.38 to $150.66. I hope I'm recording this okay. Yep, new line. NAB.ASX new line, daily $30.80 is probably a better area, and a dream area would be $24 if this really has big repercussions. Now with Trump, things turn around really fast, and I know there's been a campaign against him. They're all trying to beat him up. Obama was saying that it's terrible the way um, Trump is using the media and saying you can't come in here if you're horrible. He did that to the media. He came up with a Russian collusion and all that sort of stuff, and with the help of Hillary Clinton, all of those sort of things. It's a masterclass in gaslighting, but they're trying to beat Trump, and a collapsing economy is bad, but it's very good in the long run because it cleans everything up and gets rid of all the corruption and excess that has happened before. New line. So WBC.ASX Westpac, $28.98 or $27.12 or $26.94 would be areas where I would like that to get down to. New line. Weekly charts column. On the weekly charts, $28.98. It looks for it on break below $30.78. What may happen is you might get some central banks announcements wanting to flood liquidity or lowering interest rates. This is often what happens at these times to try and pacify the market. Now the big question is, are we in a depression? Are we in a recession? We've earned ourselves a depression. We really have. But is that the case? Will we be like that? The GFC, we flooded the market with cash, did all the quantitative easing. I don't think they want to do that at the time. That will help Trump Unlimited get back into power next time. Which he can, because he'll probably prove at some stage that it'll be proven that the Democrats absolutely cheated in the election and the globalists absolutely cheated in the election. Whether it was election machines or ballots being dropped in the middle of the night, as we saw the sudden spike in numbers, whether that comes out soon or not, but Trump will, if that comes out and is clear, Trump will contest it, and Trump may be able to serve a third term. He's certainly talking about it. New line. XMJ.ASX Materials Index, new line. Charles is saying, I do not think they want to cut interest rates either. Powell hinted that on Friday. That is one of the reasons the market went down even more. I think the market thinks no interest rates cut due to tariff impact on inflation. Exactly. So stocks are cheap, but they're nasty at the moment. We want to see a base or at least a really big bounce. Okay. New line. BHP.ASX. This got really poleaxed. It's in the zone where I'd normally want to buy it, but I'm scared, which is not a great emotion. $34.73 is probably which is probably an area where you might think about buying it. And maybe lurk down there. New line, new line. Daily charts, Colin. Really, the charts are a bit, yeah. We don't see it trending down yet, but a breakdown below $36 looks down into the $34.33 area. New line, new line. I'm going to roll along a little bit because we're a bit behind the time. The market's open, and now I think we have seen the market down 368 points. The XJO is at 7302. Unico Silver's fallen 11%. I think I'm getting a few stops that I didn't cancel. And we see the energies index has just been plunged. We're seeing the crude oil has dropped dramatically into the zone where I think it's worth it. Now, is it scary? Question: 58.37, 56.73, $46.86. Okay, $58.37, $56.73 looks like the target on the downside. By the volume, we see a lot of volume going down, so that's probably going further, maybe low 50s. New line. WDS.ASX Woodside. This really cracked it on Friday. If it does bounce, look for $21.97, but I doubt that. new line. Monthly charts column. It's down $1.56. I was telling you that it could go down to $10.86 with the drill baby drill and the way the charts were. There's probably margin calls, as Charles is saying here now. New line. Look for $10.86 probably. It's pretty ugly. New line. Daily charts column, we've just looked at it. New line. XGD